Right, good morning, welcome back. Day 53, Hayabusa build. And thank you first of all for your amazing support and kind comments. It's spurring me on, it truly is. And I absolutely love this, just like you do. I started out with that twin light hoop, just thinking that twin lights will look great on a big wide bike. And then it went on from there. You know the rest. It starts to look a bit GSXR. Oh, I don't know, let's just kind of bring those pieces in. They're very GSXR. And then this piece around the, I don't know, suddenly we've got a GSXR 11 fairing. It just happened, it evolved, and that's the best way because everything about it, every angle and every curve just looks right. It all hangs together. So the pressure is on to get the last part right and make it all look perfect. And that's this top arch. This curved piece here gives me the arc that I want, but at the same time, it's way too long. I've got to come up from these two ears, back up, and then round the top, which is how the early GSXR fairings were. So that's a bit of pressure to get that right. I've got some pictures to look at to kind of give me the line and the arc of where to go, but at the same time, I want to do it myself. I don't want to copy anything, not directly anyway. Anyway, chatting on too much. I've got a lot to do today, so there's no point in putting it off. Eyes down for a full house. Let's just get stuck in. Right, bringing in this to just let you know how long this takes. I've taken, look at it now, 20 to 12 on the clock now. I've just made these. That's all I've done today. Curving them as a pair, perfect, because I've got a left and a right to do, and if you make them as a pair, they'll be identical. So curve them as a pair, identical, made that bend as a pair, identical. Now I've got an identical pair. I've got a right side and a right side, whereas I need a right and a left. And there is a difference because that curvature that I'm trying to design that's the curvature of the frame. As I showed you with my finger, that follows the line of the frame perfectly. But this section at the top, I want it to toe in very slightly. So that when you're sitting on the bike, the fairing toes inwards at the top and it all looks enclosed. So that one needs to toe in, and the other side, that one needs to toe in that way. So they both need to toe in together, but then these two lines here wouldn't follow each other. They actually need to be like that. That line's the same, left and right, but at the top, they need to toe, in fact, that's the left and that's the right. So they now work as a left and right pair. And that kind of stupid detail just eats your time and eats your life. But it's rewarding when you get it right. And I'll show you a little trick to make sure that they're actually correct and symmetrical in their oppositeness. Don't make any sense, does it? I'll show you what I mean. I'll lay them on the bench, I'll show you. You just lay them on a flat surface, and then you can see if the gap underneath there is the same both sides. Lay them back to back and see if the height of the curves are the same when that part's laying flat. You're just looking for symmetry. Easy, isn't it? Remove my fire blanket, so called because it's often on fire. Right, okay, it's very important to get this level and everything square, and it's very difficult when it's all rounded and curved and swoopy, but when you've got two curvy swoopies on either side and they need to be symmetrically curvy swoopy, it's important to make sure that you find somehow a point of reference and see if it's level. And I found one. Now I'm using this spirit level, not to see whether it's level with the ground, as a spirit level does, because the bike's not necessarily level on the lift, but I'm using a point on the frame. I'll just show you. I put that there. What's important is getting these two tips absolutely the same height so that they're level across the bike when it's riding along, and they don't look like that, which will give you a crook in your neck. So let's show you the point of reference I've used and how bang on this is after 2.5 hours. Again, I'll just grab you over it now. If I come around the back of the bike, it's all very well and good using the spirit level, seeing if the bubble's level, which it's currently not, but it doesn't matter because it's not, the bike's not dead upright on the lift. If I get on the bike, so I can show you, if I come back here, the point of reference is there. This is the factory fairing frame, and it's mounted to the headstock of the bike, and it's absolutely level and square. So putting the level across those two hooks, which are going to be the back extreme corners of the fairing, and then judging, just squat down and pick that line there, and there it is. It is literally about maybe 1 millimetre high, that end at the most, probably just warped a little bit through welding, but it's only wire. I can just adjust that down a bit. But there we are, there's a point of reference. That is about as square as it gets. Also, measuring from this tip to the center point, and that's dead central, to this one, it's exactly 8.5 inches, bang, bang. So I know that they're square that way in terms of their toe-in, level that way, and everything's gonna look right riding along. Ain't odd, is it? I know what you're all thinking. How much does this weigh? So let's see. We'll do it in pounds and ounces. 8mm mild steel frame weighs, there we go, okay, 5 pounds, 4 ounces. There we are, shade over 5 pounds in weight. I don't think that's too bad. The original fairing plastics with that massive headlight probably would have weighed at least that, but there's going to be nothing else but that. And the fact that that weighs 5 pounds, that's going to make a big difference. Well, it's going to play an influence on what I skin it with, and it certainly won't be steel. Let's put it on the bike. Okay, there we are. Now thinking about that, what to skin it with, I think steel is out of the question. It's quite a large area, and that much sheet metal would end up weighing 3 times what it does now. 5 pounds, I'm very happy with that. Doesn't weigh a great deal at all. Happy. Aluminium, possibly, that might work, but many of you have said the very obvious thing that it could be quite dangerous to have sheet metal skin up here. If I have a front end collision, you're going into the edge of that sheet metal. It's already bad enough with a frame, but if it's reinforced by sheet aluminium, this is going to be rock solid. As it is now, it's mighty flexible. And I think if I was to come cascading into that from the rear, it'll probably fold up hopefully and not do me too much damage. So it needs a skin that's going to give just as much. And I'm thinking possibly, as a few of you have already said, maybe fiberglass. But look, this is rat rod. I want it different. I want something wild and unique. And that frame, it's delicious. I love it. And it would be sacrilege to hide this underneath a skin of fiberglass. So maybe I put the skin on the inside, an exoskeleton. How cool is that? And then what about the rear? Maybe get some aluminium bar and make an exoskeleton for the tail panels so they match. Crazy thinking, but all for next time. That's it for today. I can't do any more. I've had fantastic fun with this in 4 videos, and I'm going to sit back and think long and hard about the next move. What do I do? I have got a little bit of ordinary housekeeping work to do with it. It's not finished. These bolts, the access to these bolts is too awkward at the moment. And when there's a skin on it, inside it or otherwise, I'm not going to be able to get to them at all. So these ones, very cleverly, I've welded the bar clean over the top of the bolt, so I can't get to it with anything other than an open end spanner. And that's no good because it's when it's got skin on, I won't get to it at all. So all I'll need to do with that is chop a piece of that bar out and weld a piece of tube in there so I can go down that tube simply with a socket and undo it from inside. So all that sort of thing, that's all to come. That's just housekeeping. Making and designing that frame, that's done now. Tick, that's it. So in the next video, join me if you will. I'm going to do a little simple thing that could save you an awful lot of money. Something to check to save you a fortune if you've dropped your bike or it's fell over and you just can't line the steering up properly and you're worried it's all bad. It might not be. So join us in the next one. I'll show you a little get out of jail free trick that might just save you loads of money. That's always good. So there we are. Thank you for watching. Take it easy, ride safe. I'll see you next time.
46, raised up in the sticks, somewhere in North Carolina. You spend a lifetime making moonshine and smoking homemade cigarettes, soaking up the sunshine, drinking in the moonlight, sharing good times with his friends. One last liquor run, then he said he was done, living a good life in the hills.